What's up? It's your girl Salasia, aka Say Say, and I'm in the Mother Loving building. Yeah, today I'm gonna be talking about where have I been, and I'm gonna give you guys a life update, and yeah, let's get into it. All right, y'all. This is about to be a long video, and I'm gonna try to explain everything as much as I can. So yeah. So around my birthday last year, I ended up getting really sick, and I remember just like throwing up constantly, throwing up, and feeling like I was about to die. And my throat was just like burning. So, on my birthday, I went to urgent care and I was diagnosed with acid reflux. Actually, a lot of people have it. Um, and some people normally don't take it that seriously. Um, but I'm gonna explain what it is. So, acid reflux is basically, whenever you eat food, you have stomach acid to digest your food, and sometimes it can get up in your lower esophagus, and then that can cause heartburn, chest pain. Also, can cause heavy breathing, and like your throat could like be burning. It actually has a lot of symptoms, but I was diagnosed with that when I went to urgent care. So they gave me some medication, and they like gave me information for like a gastrologist or whatever. And so I took the medication for a couple of days and I started feeling better. So I got off of the medication. Anybody that knows me, I don't like being on medication. I don't really trust medication. I feel like medication um, doesn't heal the problem, it suppresses it, and it only treats it, it doesn't heal it. So you'll never catch me on medication for that long. Like I would get off the medication. Like even when I took my when I got my wisdom tooth pulled out, I didn't take the medication at all. I just like dealt with it, dealt with the pain or whatever. So boom, didn't even do anything for my birthday. I was on medication and I started feeling better. Um, so with acid reflux, obviously you have trigger foods that you can't eat that will trigger you to have heartburn. But the thing was, when my acid reflux, like I was regurgitating my food, like every meal, I would regurgitate it. Like I would regurgitate a little bit of my food. Um, and so that just wasn't normal to me. So when I went to the gastrologist clinic, um, I met with my doctor. I'm gonna get into that too. I met with my doctor, and she put me on another medication. So now I was on two medications. One was just like I don't know what it did, but it helped me during that time when I was sick. But later on, when I was like regurgitating my food and stuff, um, she put me on stronger medication. It would help a little bit, but I was still regurgitating my food. But also, I wasn't being careful and I wasn't avoiding trigger foods as well. I honestly thought at the time I was eating a lot healthier, but then again, I was overweight for my height. So I didn't look. Now, looking back on videos of me, I definitely could tell I was chubby. But at that time, I didn't really think I was that big. But I was obese for my height. I'm 5'2", and I weighed 160. So technically that's obese, but I really didn't feel like I was obese. So I'm gonna get into what else. I had something else as well that was like affecting me. Um, and during that time, like, I was doing YouTube. I was doing YouTube and I was recording videos around that time. Like I was looking at old videos and I was just like saying in the videos, I feel weird. I feel weird. Like I feel weird for some reason. And that was one of the causes was I had acid reflux. Sorry, I have a list on like what I'm gonna talk about. Um, so boom, uh 5 months later, obviously I have symptoms. I'm regurgitating my food. Sometimes I can't sleep. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like I can't breathe. All this extra stuff. And yeah, so I was just on these medications. They were doing nothing for me. I'm trying to remember when I went to my doctor again. I'm not even gonna say, why am I even calling her a doctor? When I went to an I don't even want to say my nurse. When I went to the lady, I'm gonna just say when I went to the lady. Um, I'm gonna skip all that. Let me get straight into it. So one day I got really sick. I don't know if I had COVID or not. I'm pretty sure I had COVID. I had a cold, so I had a cold for about a week. Well, I had a really bad headache at work, and I went home, took a week off from work, and I got sick. Um, but I mean, I was still fine. I just had a cold, so I was still eating whatever I wanted. And this is where it all went bad. And now it makes sense to me looking back on it. This is where it all went bad, y'all. I thought I had a stomach infection, but I know what the cause was. I guess I'll get into that later. So boom. Um, you know those little like cherry tomatoes you get at the grocery store that you put in your salads or whatever? I blame Dream Doll. For the people that know Dream Doll, I blame Dream Doll, the artist or whatever that was on Bad Girls Club. So, anyways, okay, let me just get straight to the point because I'm just trying to say, anyways. So, what I did was I had a cherry tomato and I was dipping it in salt. When I had seen the video, she was dipping it in Himalaya salt. Anybody knows me, I like trying new foods. I try anything new, whatever. So, I had seen that ASMR, the video she did. So, I was like, okay, whatever, I want to try it. But I didn't have Himalaya salt. I just had regular salt. Big mistake. That shit's okay. So, anyways, I'm dipping it in salt. I'm eating it. Dipping in salt, eating it. Tomatoes is a trigger food for acid reflux, and anybody should know never intake so much salt in your body. That can kill you. That can kill you. So it can mess up your stomach. It can mess you up. That could kill you. And I had no fucking idea. Um, at the time, I didn't think it was a lot of salt, but it actually was. So, anyways, I ate that at 10 at night. Woke up to my stomach hurting. I was just constantly throwing up, throwing up, throwing up, throwing up, throwing up, throwing up. I'm throwing up my stomach acid. It's burning my throat. I feel like I can't breathe. So, boom. So, after that, I just never got better. Like, it went from. And the thing is about GERD, when you throw up your stomach acid, your throat is burning. It's not like it's burning for a couple minutes. Your throat is burning until I would say my throat would be burning for like a good like hour. Like it doesn't go away. Your stomach acid is very strong. It can melt like batteries. So when you throw that up constantly, your throat is burning and you're in pain for like a long time. I mean, there's ways to like feel better. I think it was like eat a popsicle, drink tea with honey, but like it takes a whole hour or even longer to get rid of that burning sensation in your throat, and you feel it all in here. So it was like torture. So after that, I just never got better. Like, um, every day I just started throwing up. Like I couldn't keep anything down. It was weird. I didn't have like stomach pains, but I had like little, I wouldn't even say it was cramps. Like I would get little pulses in my stomach and my stomach just didn't feel good and I couldn't keep anything down. Started throwing up. Then like throwing up so much and throwing up my stomach acid, I started to damage my throat, my esophagus, and then I started getting throat anxiety, meaning I was scared to eat. I was scared to swallow. I was scared to swallow my pills. And I was in pain when I would like swallow anything. Like I was in pain. So after a while, I lost my appetite and I stopped eating. Um, I would like have little plates of food and it would just be this small and I couldn't eat it. Like I had old videos. I would make old videos sending it to like a close friend of mine, telling her like crying, telling her like I'm so scared to eat. Like I can't eat this. I feel super uncomfortable. I'm so scared to eat. I was scared to eat. I didn't have an appetite and I was in pain when I would eat or swallow. over time it just got worse. Like I literally stopped eating. I was basically starving myself, not by choice. Basically starving myself. Um it was a lot worser than how I'm explaining it. It was pretty much torture. The first month I was just like thugging it out. Second month I just started crying every day. Crying made it worse, but after the second month I just started crying because once I couldn't take down water, that's how I knew it was like a big issue. Like I was dehydrated. I was like could barely move. Um and yeah, I was in pain. So yeah, so after that, I started losing a lot of weight, and that's when I knew it was a problem. So I went to the ER. I went to the ER, and basically they just told me I had a lot of inflammation um, in my throat or whatever, and basically was like, yeah, that's it. Like all you have is inflammation in your throat, and I'm just like, what? That's it? Like I'm constantly throwing up. Like I'm not eating. Like, and then they also put like some fluids in me and potassium in me because I had low potassium and I was dehydrated. So boom. So I went to the lady again for the second time and I told her everything that happened and she was like, okay, we're just gonna double you up on medication. That's it. Like I was telling her the medication I was taking wasn't working. So doubling up on medication it's not gonna help. So honestly she seemed like she didn't really care. And so she was like, okay, and we're also going to schedule an endoscopy, which is when they put the tube down your throat and figure out what's going on and to see if I have like cancer or anything or whatever is going on with me. So she had scheduled that like, I forgot when I went to her. Okay, this all happened in January and February. Um, so yeah, so like I'm just like so tired, so exhausted, in pain every day, throwing up. And like I said, I stopped drinking water, I stopped eating. And the only thing that really saves me was there was only the only thing that really saved me was watermelon because I would eat the watermelon and swallow the juice and spit it out. And that was the only thing I was able to take down without throwing up. I couldn't even take down water. I would drink water and I would throw it right back up. But for some reason with watermelon, I was able to at least take down the juice. So, anyways, I'm exhausted. I'm scared. Like I'm in pain. Just like wishing that wishing that I could have this endoscopy earlier so I can figure out what's going on with me. So I went to the ER. They gave me all these medications. Because at that point, also, the reason why I was like, okay, it's getting serious, I started having other issues with my body. Um, and so when I started having other issues with my body, I would message for anybody, everybody should have a my chart. If you don't have a my chart, you should have a my chart. I would be messaging my doctor, my primary doctor, and the other lady. And I was telling her, I was like, okay, well, I'm having other issues with this. She's like, well, you need to go to your primary doctor for that. And I'm just like, okay. Act like she didn't care. And they do that a lot to black women in the medical field. They don't hear us when we say we're in pain and when we say something's wrong with us. So, anyways, I scheduled an appointment with my primary doctor. My primary doctor saved my life pretty much. So, I went to my primary doctor and I used to bring like I never and then I started having anxiety, like I couldn't go out. Like going to the grocery store was the hardest thing for me because I would get anxiety, like I had to spit in a cup. So another thing, since I couldn't swallow anything and it would hurt, I didn't want to swallow my spit, so I would be spitting in a cup. So so I would bring when I went to the ER the first time did I have a bucket with me? I had something I had to spit in because I was also throwing up. So I went to my primary doctor like Romeo braids, Jim Jones braids, and messed up, looking like this, like literally leaning like this. I had my cut where it had, because by the time my mom took me to, because I couldn't drive or nothing. By the time my mom took me to my primary doctor, like I already had throw up in my cup. And for some reason, when I went to her, it just took forever for her to finally come in the room. So she in a room, and I'm just like this with my cup. And at first, they thought I had COVID. Everybody, so when I went to the ER, they thought I was pregnant because, throwing up and stuff. I'm like, I know I'm not pregnant, but they tested if I was pregnant, came out negative. So, and then she thought I had COVID because I was like, something's going on with my throat. I think I have a throat infection, but it was really just throwing up my stomach acid too much. It just irritated and messed up everything. So, my primary doctor, she's very chill. She's very laid back. I've never seen her so antsy before. Like, she wasn't like this, but she was like just typing away. Like, she put me on all these different medications and stuff like that, because at that point I could pee, but I couldn't even take a number two. Like, I was constipated. Like, I wasn't even going number two at all. Like, at all. That's bad for you too. So that's what I'm saying. When I had all these other problems, I was like, yeah, we need to figure out what's going on with me, because this isn't good. So she's just typing away about like the medications I need to be on, and it was a lot of medications that weren't trying to make me like throw up and stuff, because I was throwing up all the time. And um and she's like, so I see you have endoscopy scheduled. And that was 3 weeks later that my endoscopy was scheduled. I wasn't gonna make it. And she noticed I had seen her in January to do a physical. So when I seen her in February and she seen how much weight I lost, she was freaking the fuck out. So she was like, so my mom was on the phone because my mom couldn't come in because, it's COVID or whatever. So I'm like, my mom wants to talk to you. So my mom's asking her questions and stuff. And she was like, yeah, you guys need to go to the ER after this because, you know, she looks bad. Like, my primary doctor was like, you look bad. And I'm looking like, I know, I feel like shit. Like, clearly you see this container, I have a throw up, I have no energy. And so she's like, yeah. So she gives me a whole bunch of medication. She's like, I'm going to try and schedule your endoscopy. And I also had another test for H. pylori. It's a stomach infection that I had to test for. So she scheduled those two like right away. So that week I took the test for the stomach infection. Didn't have a stomach infection. Y'all don't understand how like hopeless I felt. I felt hopeless, but I also had faith in God. And that's another thing that got me through all this was my faith in God. But just feeling like shit, and feeling like you can't breathe, you can't eat, you're not eating. It's like literally torture. And you keep on going to the doctors, you keep on going to this person, that person, getting tested, and no one's figuring out what the fuck is wrong with you. So yeah, I took that test, didn't have a stomach infection. Then finally I led up to my endoscopy. So finally it led up to my endoscopy. My primary doctor that scheduled me that like that next week. And when I went to the ER, so yeah, after she told me, I went to the ER. They did the same exact thing, put fluids, potassium in me. And now I got like a CT scan. I got like some other testing done. They said nothing was wrong with me. They said the same thing they said the first time. I just had inflammation. And they sent me on my way home. So I had my endoscopy, and he came back and was like, okay, we're going to put you, he's like, you just have a lot of inflammation in your throat and like, I'll get to that. So yeah, like, he came to me when I woke up, and he was like, yeah, you just had a lot of inflammation in your throat and stuff. We didn't find any cancer or anything, so that's a good thing. And he was like, have you been on these medications? He listed medications I was already on. So I got really scared because I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's no other medication you could put me on other than what I've been taking. It's not working. And I was like, I already took those. Like, they don't do anything. He's like, okay, I'm gonna put you on this other medication. So I'm like, okay. Boom. How it got better. Once I was on that medication, he was like, once you get on that medication, you can start eating again. I didn't start eating until 3 days later because I was just like really scared. So I got on the medication, and honestly, the medication made me feel better. So I was able to eat 3 days later, and slowly but surely I was able to eat. Like, I was like eating like broth. a little bit of meat and a little bit of vegetables, and slowly but surely I was able to eat regular stuff. Um, so for anybody that has acid reflux, oh, also, once that happened, like he gave me like a whole packet and he gave me pictures that they took down my throat. I had a lot of inflammation in my throat. That was the cause of everything, but I also had a hiatal hernia. Basically, hiatal hernia is you have your stomach, right? You have your diaphragm, which is like right here. You have your stomach, your diaphragm. Half of your stomach goes up in your diaphragm, and it's not supposed to. So, and I forgot whatever this is, your lower esophagus, whatever this opens up. When you swallow and drink food, it opens up and closes. This was weakened. So if it's weak, it's easier to open up, and it's easier for my stomach acid to come back up. Those are two reasons why. And I personally think I was just overweight. I was just overweight, and that was a lot of cause of it. And I was also stressed during that time. Like, I was really stressed about some shit, stressed the fuck out. And I think that was another thing that caused everything for me to be like feeling weird and all this extra stuff. So yeah, he put me on that medication, took it slowly but surely, and I ended up getting better. So I got a lot of signs during this during me being sick. I got a lot of signs on um how I'm gonna move forward in my life, and it's easier said than done. I feel like a lot of people say this, but it goes over people's heads. You guys gotta like eat healthy, because I think people are slowly starting to understand what we intake in our body is really why we have all these problems, like diabetes or stomach cancer. Is really what you intake in your body. Like, you have to be very careful on what you eat. If you're out here eating fast food, greasy foods, all the time going out to eat is actually really bad for you. Like, and I was going out to eat a lot. I was going out to eat. I was going out on dates a lot. I was going out to eat. And it's really not healthy for you. Like, and during that time, I was just getting signs and videos of like, you know, making sure, like people are saying, making sure you eat healthy. And like I said, it's easier said than done. And maybe I would do another video explaining more in detail why and how you should eat healthy. But yeah, so you got to eat healthy, you guys. Like, if you don't, and during that time, I just kept on seeing so many people dying from stomach cancer, and it was just like really scary. What else? What else? What else? Um, like, when you do eat, just make sure you intake a lot of vegetables and fruits. Like, now I make sure I intake vegetables and fruits every week. Sometimes if I don't want to just eat a whole bunch of fruits, then I'll just make smoothies. I'll just make smoothies and I'll just drink them. I try and drink smoothie like twice a week. I'm still trying to figure out my diet and what's best for me. But yeah, I feel a lot better. Clearly, you guys can tell that I've lost a lot of weight. Everyone kept on asking me, how did I lose the weight? I did not work out. I didn't do anything crazy. I literally got sick and lost the weight. It's that simple. I'm actually glad everything happened. I wanted to lose weight around the time that I was like bigger and stuff, and I was working on losing weight. I worked out a couple times, tried to eat healthy, but yeah. And during this time where I was sick and I was just like feeling like it was it for me, God had actually answered a lot of my prayers within that situation, which was so crazy. I would say, God, I wish you would do. I'm not gonna say exactly what I was asking for, but I would say like, God, I wish to do this, I wish to do that, and then I get in this situation, and He answered it. He may have not answered it how I wanted Him to, but He answered my prayers. Another thing, okay, so let me get into it. If you are feeling sick or you have back problems, leg problems, you need to go and see a doctor ASAP. Do not put it off. Please don't put it off, because the more you put it off, the more worse issues you could have later on down the line. Anytime you go to the ER, try and get all tests done. It kind of made me mad how I went to the ER the first time and I gave him a list of all the tests that I wanted him to do, and me and him kind of got into it because he was like, "Well, first, um, let's just do this." And then the second time I went to the ER, we end up doing a test that I asked for the first time around. And as Black women, we need to speak up more because we already know they don't listen to us. I'm not even going to get too much into that, but speak up more. I don't know if it's second or third thing. Anytime you get a doctor, you get a new doctor, nurse, or whatever. This is what happened. So when I went to the urgent care and they gave me a doctor, she was actually a nurse and she just graduated. So when I got her, I was probably her first patient. She just graduated when they sent me to her, and she didn't know what she was doing, and she could have caused me to lose my life, because she scheduled an endoscopy 3 weeks later and I already lost 20 pounds. I'm not eating or drinking anything, and I'm also having other problems with my body. So it was just like she didn't know what she was doing. So look up who you have as a doctor or a nurse. You need to look up the person, you need to look up what they do, and yeah, you just need to look up who you're going to and see how much experience they have. Um and for people that believe in God, just believe in God, have faith in God, and know that God has a plan for you. So yeah, I no longer have acid reflux. I don't regurgitate my food. I don't regurgitate my stomach acid anymore. I have a little bit of symptoms, but I think my body is just still healing. So I don't know if I have hiatal hernia. I have another endoscopy soon. If you guys want an update, I can give you guys an update. But I have another endoscopy soon, and then they're just gonna check everything and see if everything's good. And yeah. So a life update. Honestly, right now I'm just taking time to heal. You know, it was only 2 months, but it was like every day was torture. Like I couldn't even go to sleep, y'all. So mentally, I was kind of messed up a little bit. I've never had mental issues, but like being when I went to the ER the first and second time, they put me on 10 to 15 different medications, and it started messing with me a little bit. So my mental is back now, but I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things, like do things that I love, trying to find love and passion for the things that I have had love and passion for. So I'm getting back into YouTube again and getting back into doing videos, getting back into designing again, slowly but surely, getting back into my business, kind of getting back into my music, taking more time for myself. I think during that time I was focused on a lot of other stuff that did not matter. And then during that time when I was sick, I felt extremely alone. So I'm just going back and pouring back into me and working on self-love and working on me, nobody else. Um, so yeah, I just been focusing on the things that I love to do. I just been working, and I'm planning for change. This year is still not over. I have a lot of things I want to accomplish, a lot of things I want to do. So I'm still super, super, super duper excited. And that's pretty much an update on me. So you guys will be definitely seeing more videos on YouTube. I'm super excited. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This video was already super long, but I also want to thank everybody that reached out to me on Instagram, the people that seen, obviously, pictured me at the ER. I want to thank everybody that reached out to me. It like literally meant the world to me. It meant the world to me. For the people that reached out to me, that's what happened to me, guys. And sorry for the people I didn't get back to, but I was just going through it. I just didn't answer back. But this video is also for you guys. Just thanking you guys for reaching out to me. And yeah, I definitely want to end this video with a prayer for anybody. Lord, I want you to look over anybody that's going through hard times. I want you to look over anybody that's stressed, anybody that has health issues, anybody that lost a loved one. I want to say thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for letting us see another day. And yeah, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that notification button so you know when I post a new video. And I will see you guys soon. Money on my mind. Don't be spinning game if you really wasting time.